it or not, for the moment, the earth is where we make our stand.
Validation Boy. I've been avoiding doing a video on this person for quite some time. We've talked about him numerous times on the shills, but I suppose I should put my own spin on it and let people know what I think of this sad sack of paranoia and reality denial. Validation Boy's big thing seems to be skepticism of certain illnesses like autism, Asperger's, fibromyalgia, and others. Worst of all, he's a flat earther, and he seems to be a conspiracist on a level approaching our dear friend Hans Wormhat. However, one thing about him screams Poe to me. He reuses his own scripts. Take a look at this.
There are no biomedical indicators for fibromyalgia. There are no tests for fibromyalgia. There are no biomedical indicators for Asperger's. There are no actual tests for Asperger's. There are literally no diagnostic criteria for fibromyalgia. There are literally no diagnostic criteria for Asperger's. The symptoms of this so-called condition cannot be proven. There are no legitimate forms of treatment available for fibromyalgia. The symptoms of this so-called condition are nothing more than a generic description of any child anywhere in the world. Think about it. It's a unique condition that no doctor can accurately describe, and it grants the patient a free pass out of any social situation they don't feel like participating in. How convenient. It's almost like having a cheat code at life that everyone around you is awkwardly forced to play along with. Think about it. It's a unique condition that no doctor can accurately describe, and it grants the patient a free pass out of any social situation they don't feel like participating in. How convenient. It's almost like having a cheat code at life that everyone around.
I mean, come on. That feels like someone gaming the algorithm and hoping to get views without people noticing that all of his videos are the same. But perhaps they're not. I'm going to sort his videos by most popular and pick out some choice ones for us to go through. The first one is called WWE Occult Death Worship and Satanism. Sounds excellent.
About history, I mean, you gotta take it with a grain of salt. You gotta think about I guess there was this Roman Empire, and it's funny, you know. Let me break something down for you guys. We're gonna talk about fucking professional wrestling. How do you like that, Jed? So anyways, we're gonna talk about how The Undertaker, okay, is a guy, all right, a huge guy. He wears all black. He's supposed to be the graveyard fucking grave digger, fucking scary death, and they call him the Dead Man. And he's the Undertaker, and he represents fucking death. And every year at WrestleMania, you got to understand, WrestleMania is always in the very beginning of April. It's essentially a fertility, sorcery ritual. And the guy who owns the...
Wait. What? You're making some funny leaps there, buddy. WrestleMania is a fertility ritual because it happens in April? Is the National Former Prisoner of War Recognition Day on the second Thursday of April a fertility ritual? How about National High Five Day, third Thursday of April? You'd better be backing this up with something good.
And the guy who owns the WWE, Vince, openly ridicules and mocks Christianity. And basically is very, very pagan.
Vince McMahon, or as I call him, that guy what walks like a robot, met his first wife Linda in church when they were kids. I'd like some evidence that he's pagan or anti-religious in any way. I will say he's not a great guy. While he's donated to many charities, he's also had numerous harassment allegations held against him that make me very uncomfortable. But some kind of Satanist? Citation needed.
And his shows, okay, there's a Monday night show called Raw, okay, Raw, like the sun god Ra, but it's spelled R-A-W, like raw chicken.
Or it could be raw as it's used as a synonym for coarse, crude, natural, uncensored, hard, rough, crass, dirty, filthy, foul, obscene, Rude, uncouth, unrefined.
but it's red, and it's called Raw, and it's red. He has SmackDown, and it's a blue show. So he has this red and blue polarity every single week, you know? And then at the end of the year, well, it's at the end of the wrestling season, you get WrestleMania, but the wrestling year ends in April. So basically, he's celebrating a pagan new year with his mania of sports. And here's the thing.
Okay, I'm bored of this video. He's just saying things without explaining them and letting his fans do most of the work. It's like cheating at abstract. Next up, traffic jams are a hoax. I mean, come on.
Hello, YouTube. Validation Boy here. So guys, it seems like the more we look into everyday things, the more hoaxes we are finding to expose. Dinosaurs. Hoax.
Definitely not, bro. I'll add that to a list of things to do, debunk you talking about dinosaurs. Sounds like an evening.
Space travel. Hoax.
Well, you're a flurf, so you obviously think that space is...
Oil scarcity. Hoax.
So, do you think it's like an infinite resource, or...
Federal Reserve and all the fluctuations of our economy. Hoax.
Well, I think you've slipped in a half-truth. The Federal Reserve is kind of bullshit, but it's a little more complicated than I'm sure you believe it to be.
Every single mainstream news narrative. Hoax.
Now, you used an interesting word there, which is narrative. I'll almost agree with you here. Many major news networks have a degree of bias, leaning to the left or to the right, and supporting the agenda of their respective parties. However, the stories they report on are more or less true.
Yes, everything seems to be one giant hoax. I drew my inspiration to make this video from the work of Aaron Dover, who has proposed the idea that volcanoes, tornadoes, and even hot springs are probably all just hoaxes.
Man, it must suck to be you. Everything is a hoax. Everything is a deception perpetuated on you. You're being targeted and victimized all the time. You're so paranoid and afraid. That does not sound like a fun existence to lead, brother.
I figured, hey, why wouldn't traffic jams involve hoaxery too? Now, I'm pretty sure nobody else has covered this topic on YouTube yet, but I believe this is a very pertinent issue that deserves a bit of research. As some of you know, my particular slave job is that of a delivery driver. There's a very high probability that I spend a lot more time driving the roads than you do. Over the last few months, I've noticed an increase in manufactured bottleneck traffic jams. I can't even tell you how many times recently in which I've been stuck in a row of cars, boiling with frustration as nobody moves forward, only to find that once I actually have the chance to see what's slowing everybody down, it turns out to be nothing but a row of traffic cones arbitrarily placed there for no reason other than to cut off available lanes. And on top of that, the construction workers you'd expect to see nearby are nowhere to be found.
You know, that's a real nice stock photo of traffic cones you've got there. What I'd prefer, though, is some evidence of these arbitrary cone placements like you're talking about. Find me one occasion where cones have been placed when it is not used for construction, tree trimming, a traffic accident, road painting, or anything like that. Just one. I'll wait.
Just a line of orange cones which magically appeared during rush hour to needlessly constrict the flow of traffic. I believe this is being done to create the illusion of road space scarcity. Our government hates the fact that we can travel anywhere we want at any time, and I think that the sooner they can get us all to stop using our own autonomous means of transportation, the sooner they can implement the many other horrors they have waiting for us. They want us sectioned off into zones, which they hope can dramatically decrease the size of our individual realities.
Yeah, I remember this one. It was every cyberpunk novel ever. Skip. Next video is called, "Oh, you little piece of human garbage. Challenger hoax eyewitness." Alright, let's do this. If people don't want to deal, skip to the time code on screen. But crap like this needs to be shut down.
Hello YouTube, Validation Boy here.
Get f***ed.
I just wanted to make a quick little video about the NASA Challenger hoax. It's been found out that the people on board the Challenger are still alive. We know that NASA either used a hologram on that day, or it was just a bunch of pyrotechnics.
That is the stupidest shit I've ever heard. No, you don't know any of this. What you know is that someone on the internet found 6 photos of people who look sort of similar to the Challenger crew, and you can in no way account for these people being in 2 separate locations at the same time. I go over this in more detail in this video here. Second, a hologram or pyrotechnics? How do you know that? How do you think holograms work? Are they 3-dimensional and projected onto thin air? Here's the Challenger's launch from multiple angles, dude. Tell me how it's a hologram.
Engines beginning throttling down now.
Shortly from John Lawrence in Houston.
Normal throttles for most of the flight, 104%. We'll throttle down to 65% shortly.
Straight up into a beautiful blue sky. Crystal clear weather here in
Engines at
Florida.
65%. 3 engines running normally. 3 good fuel cells. 3 good APUs.
Everything going well.
Velocity 2,257 feet per second. Altitude 4.3 nautical miles. Downrange distance 3 nautical miles.
And across from me, hundreds of school kids jumping up and down and cheering as this space shuttle takes off with teacher Crystal McCullough on board.
Go and throttle up.
And that means the engines are running well. 2.5 minutes into the flight, the solid rocket boosters will drop away, and we should be able to see it. What's happened?
Feet per second. Altitude 9
What
nautical miles. Downrange distance 7 nautical miles.
Still going. Vic, did something strange happen then? Something has gone amiss. Something is wrong.
Well, either way, we know it didn't happen because the people on board, a couple of them say it's their twin, but the female teacher, she just outright still uses the same name. It's completely ridiculous.
You mean there's 2 people with the exact same name? Holy shit, you're onto something. Look, I can tell you're a kid, but there used to be these things called phone books. Pick a town in the southern United States and check the phone book for the name Jose Garcia. Now go to a Chinese phone book and look up the name Zhang Wei. Now go to a UK phone book and look up Oliver Smith. There are a finite number of names in the world, dude.
I just wanted you guys to know that I was born and raised very near to the launch site. And on that day, what you see in this picture, I saw that in the sky. I was brought out of my classroom. I had to have been in the 1st grade, 2nd grade, and we were brought outside. I'm definitely not saying it was real. I just know that it was either a hologram or it was pyrotechnics.
Oh, you're the eyewitness. You saw it explode, which I don't believe, and you believe it's a hoax. Therefore, this is an eyewitness account of a hoax. Get fucked, dude. You suck. Alright, one more. This one's called Hoax Madness and has a very frustrating thumbnail that I'm going to have to blur out. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you want to see more, please subscribe to my channel, which is Dead Kennedy in Space. If you want to support me further, consider donating on Patreon or purchasing some of my work through Amazon or Teespring. Thank you, and I'll see you over the curve, Space Cowboys.
Live there, on the mote of dust, suspended in a sunbeam, in a vast cosmic arena.